now we bring out the wedding bells, because today is the 6th wedding anniversary for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, whose 2018 Windsor wedding, do you remember, captured our hearts around the world.
Yes, fast forward to now, and it looks like Meghan Markle could be set for no less than a presidential run. It's after her former Suits colleague said that the Duchess is set for the White House.
Well, let's put that to royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams, who joins us now. A very good morning to you. Well, first of all, it would be wrong if we didn't wish them a very happy wedding anniversary, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I think that if you think back 6 years, I mean, what they seemed to forget was the universal praise, and now hostile press was unanimous in saying that this was an absolutely fabulous idea, that this was a union that was really going to cement the monarchy in a contemporary period. There's no doubt at all that everyone was welcoming it. It seemed absolutely marvellous. Harry was so popular, and Meghan, well, there were family problems, of course, it surfaced just before, but I mean, there's no doubt that everyone was absolutely thrilled at this, and of course it turned into something of a nightmare, and of course it then had led to the rift that we know in the royal family. But yes, a very happy anniversary, and of course this is on the back of their successful visit, undoubtedly it was, to Nigeria, and that was interesting because they were able to use Invictus, the fact that Nigeria may host the games at some point, and also of course Meghan discovered she was quote 43% Nigerian, so there was that too. The problem, of course, is from what next, and that might involve something political.
Richard, what do you make of those comments from Meghan's Suits co-star who suggests that Meghan may be set for the White House?
Well, of course, this is Fantasyland. I mean, you could argue that that which becomes a reality one day could begin in a fantasy. And, I mean, you have unquestionably a possibility of her entering politics. Well, it has been, because she's had an activist since the age of 11 when she protested against sexist advertisement. But as for being president, I mean, you have to look at the real world, and the real world would involve certain steps in the mail regarding this, the fact that you get donors, the fact that you become an activist or more of an activist, the fact that you also, clearly we know she's a Democratic Party supporter, but I mean, there were a variety of steps within the party, and that you start climbing up. I mean, what would be realistic? Firstly, I mean, we know female equality, and also issues dealing with gender equality, issues dealing with race and so forth, very, very dear to her heart. Well, there are things she could campaign on, and the way this would be handled would obviously be, I'd said, targeting the possibility of a seat in the House of Representatives, and then you could conceivably dream on about the Senate. But as for president, anybody can be president. That, of course, is the American dream. But if that happens, I will raise my eyebrows 3 times higher than the possibility that I really can't see. But
Your eyebrows will raise to the ceiling and your jaw will drop to the floor. But you have to ask, don't you, if she has such ambitions, where does this leave Prince Harry? I mean, he's obviously already resentful that he was treated as a spare back here in Britain. But he would only then become even more of a spare if he were married to either the president or somebody who was clearly setting her sights that way and taking various offices.
Yes, clearly this presents a problem for Harry, because if you notice what their plans are, and there's Meghan's lifestyle blog, American Riviera Orchard, an odd name, really rather ponderous. I think her PRs could have thought up something better. And then this Netflix program on cookery and entertainment and so forth. Harry is doing a series on polo, which is a bit of an elitist sport, actually. But of course, Harry has got Invictus. And so they have to, as they plan, Harry must, it must be absolutely definite that Harry will be integral to the planning. I mean, remember, he is very emotionally reliant on her and therefore might be content in this context to be a spare, even if many people would laugh at it, or many people would point out the fact that there was a certain amount of hypocrisy, because Spare was a brutal takedown of the royal family and his position in it. The facts are, however, that he might be happy. Remember that they are a close-knit couple, and of course, as a family, it would be very interesting, for example, to see if they monetize their links with the royal family in any other way that in the coming weeks and months. And also, of course, would Archie and Lily feature in some form of a faux royal tour somewhere, something that they would arrange? So there are all sorts of possibilities, but I certainly see, remember, you have to begin by hard campaigning. They're only putting in a each for their charity archwell. If they really do want Meghan to go into politics, if that is her ambition, then I think she should make absolutely sure she's got the ground rules of how you do this in America. They've got to have a look at also whether they would wish to have or keep their titles, and even though they're in abeyance, their children could one day become HRHs. So this too is a problem. I mean, if you're really looking at a serious political career, I don't see it starting from what we know now. Equally, anything can happen. Nigeria was a success, and also they've got a better PR arrangement now than they did, because Spare really was a disaster. There were interviews around it, and the fact that he became a laughingstock for various reasons, and also you don't mention the number of Taliban you personally took out in the second tour of duty and so on. And also, if you run for anything whether it's House of Representatives or Senate or whatever, for goodness sake, men matters with your family, because it counts in America.